Craig Brain is not your brain or my brain. Love it or hate it or something in between. Welcome to the squishy alien middle inside of this dude's skull. Take a peek. Take a peek.
Welcome to Craig Brain. If you're listening, you're missing out on my T-shirt. If you're watching this, you see it. I had Tristan take a photo of it. This is something like, I never thought I'd be a sexy dance dad, but I'm out here living it. Killing it. I don't know, I can't read it down, but yeah, I'm killing it. Anyways, I bought this at a dance convention a while ago, like several years ago. And I wear it sometimes because it's awesome. But when I first bought it, I was like, oh, I had to trade in my soccer coaching outfit for a dance dad t-shirt. And I've never really understood dance. I still don't. But my daughter loves it. And she's been dancing. And so this, what you've read, if you haven't read this is super recent. I mean, this just happened. And so I know I've talked about, some of the stuff's from years ago. This is way, and what I talked about with my dad, that was years ago. But like, man, this stuff was just like right now. It's dance competition season and these things are happening. And this story kind of played out. And I guess I thought I'd just share some things that I didn't write about. I was sitting at a dinner in Park City, Utah. It's a mastermind meeting. And one of the dinners, the guy said, hey, why don't you share at dinner the best piece of advice you've ever gotten from somebody? And so at dinner, if you're ever at like a group dinner and you're like, what do we talk about? And it's like, hey, I have a deeper thought or one conversation around a dinner table instead of 20 side conversations. Way better dinner. Way more comfortable, and you just walk away with so much more. And so we're sharing that, and everybody shared something. And one guy, there was a guy named John Walker. He said, yeah, best piece of advice I've ever got. And I think it came from his brother. And he just said, take interest in what your kids are interested in. And I was like, oh, yeah, I mean, I think I do. And it's like the things I've talked about here before, like, like we want our kids and our, my spouse, Jeanette, like to know like, hey, I know you and I know you would like this. Not just, here's what I want. Like you only childs, you're not all awful, but a lot of you are. I'm just being honest. Like you meet a parent today and you're like, how many kids you want? I don't want just one, because you're like, I don't want like a spoiled kid that just thinks the world revolves around them. And a lot of you only child, like you're that person. Like I know you. Not all of you. Just judgy much? Yeah. Like I live much. So like I've met you. And it's like, yeah, you didn't have a sibling that you had to fight over for a toy, or you didn't have a brother you had to like knock off the bed. Like you just had everything, and your parents just had you. And when you say like, hey, take interest in what your kids are, there's some things where I was like, when I heard that at that dinner, it was like, what could I do a better job of with that? And I think John gave the illustration of like his kid was really into something that like he knew nothing about, but now he's like, hey, my kid's into this. I want to learn more about that. And so in our family, like when my daughter and wife, they have Disneyland, or my son and I, we have fantasy football. We've got real football. We've got music. We've got movies. We got fashion. We got shoes. There's a lot. And so if you have like 8 kids, there's a chance that like one of them is harder to connect with than the other. Or if you have a daughter and you're a male, that'd be the father. You're like, oh, my daughter's 13 now and she likes this. And like, I don't know what that is. Or, man, find out what that is. Like, don't just make your daughter like, no, keep playing soccer. Learn how to kick a ball. Like, as the coach of many of those teams, I always want to say to the parents, like, dude, your kid shouldn't ever be on the field because they don't like this. Like, why are you making them do that? Like, so many of Nolan's friends that they were like, oh, we still play piano. I'm still a Boy Scout. I'm still this. Like, gosh, your parents listen at all about what your actually kids want to do instead of what you want them to do? And that's some scary stuff. But for me, like, dance has been like one of those, like, I don't get it. Like, I just don't connect with it. I don't understand it. I don't know how to score it. And I think for me, as like a 3 on the Enneagram and like the achiever, I don't also do things that I know I'm not good at. Because once again, I don't want to win at everything. Not everything's a game, but in my mind, it's like, oh yeah, you want to win. So why would I put myself out there? But you will for your kid. So last year, there was a casting notice on email to parents of dance kids or whatever, and I got it. And it's like dance competition with your dad and daughter, daddy-daughter dance. So think Dancing with the Stars, but instead of the celebrity, it's like a dad and their daughter. Because if you watch Dance Moms, which is awesome, that is how we've connected with I've connected with Elise around dance, is like that show. Abby Lee Miller, she's back this summer. That's awesome. But yeah, I mean, we've been to her studio. Elise has been to her intensive. We watched that show. I mean, that we've connected around that. But this show was like, because there's a lot of crazy dance moms, just like in the acting world or the Hollywood world, there's a lot of crazy stage moms. And then oftentimes there's not a lot of dads in both of those. So I was like, oh, awesome. Like, let's do this. And so Elise and I applied for it, and our video was good. I mean, I'm not an idiot. Like, I know how to get picked. I know how to win. I know how to like, oh, dude, we just make a better video. We just have a bigger personality. We just like do this right. So I picked up Elise. Nolan's rolling in the camera. We tell Elise that we might get on the show, that I booked an appointment, a lesson for her best dance teacher to give me a dance lesson. Nolan's going to film it. Mom's going to come shake her head in the back going, I don't know, Elise is kind of a boss, but dad kind of sucks. But like bring the whole family involved, and we're going to go win this. Well, we're not going to win the show, but we're going to get picked to compete. I can beat 10 other dads. Like, dude, I know I'm wearing this shirt. Like underneath it, like it's not what, like, you know, Adam Levine at the Super Bowl took his shirt off, and you're like, oh, why you been like you've been packing that underneath? Like, I don't have that, but I'm like, I'm in better shape than like, dude, I've seen some of those dads, and like I can hold my own. Like, dude, we got this. But one thing I can't do is dance. I've never done it. I don't understand it. I can't keep a beat. The 8 counts. My kids and Jeanette have said my hips don't move, so it was just like. Everything delivered on this video is awesome except for my part. And Elise was trying to teach me, and she was getting mad at me, and I was like, that's good footage. And so the lady calls us, and she's like, literally, like, Craig, are you joking? Like, it's that bad. And I was like, oh, no, like, I'm not joking. It's that bad. She's like, can you get another lesson and give us another video? Because we really like you guys, but, like, you suck that bad that, like, no. So I got another like 3 hours with Elise trying to work on 40 seconds of a song. And it was a lot of just this movement with my, like, it was just bad. We didn't get picked. Pisses me off. And yeah, because it's like, oh, that would be so fun to be with Elise and connect and then like be on a show about dance. Because it's like, I don't know how to do this. And you've seen me do a lot of things really well. And you've not seen me do a lot of things that like I really suck at. So that'd be fun. But since I sucked, I didn't get picked. And so going into this year, what you're going to read and what I talk about is like, how did I find that connection to dance with Elise? And my favorite artist is Bon Iver. Like, I've listened to his music more than anybody ever. It's creative. It's just weird. It's awesome. I can work to it. I can work out to it. I can sleep to it. I could do it. It's just that songs that I've seen him live more than anybody I've seen. Yeah, just geek out on it. And he put together a video with TU Dance, a dance troupe out of Minnesota. And I was watching this video one night. And I was sitting in bed, I was just like, and I found it. Because I'm always searching. The guy's so weird and strange that like, and creative that like, I'll search and I'll be like, there's a new Bon Iver song on some track with some guy that you don't even know about. And it's on this website that's like some weird website that says beta on it that you can't even find it on Spotify. And it's awesome. And I'm like, now I get it. Like, I want more of it. And so I did that. And I find that he has this like dance thing that he did. And there's a 10-minute video Bon Iver, if you Google Bon Iver, TU dance, like behind the scene. And he says that one night he's watching this dance troupe and he's never connected with dance before, but they danced in a way where he's like, this I get now. And he's one of those artists that's like, oh, I love creating. I don't like interviews. I don't like media. I just want to play my guitar. He says that. And he's like, what about if I could play music to this dance and just hide in the back and just do something? And so they commissioned this work with Bon Iver and TU Dance. And they debuted it in Minnesota, and they eventually took it to Hollywood Bowl. I knew nothing about it. And it was like, what? And then I saw clips of it. I mean, I'm not a huge crier first 40 years of my life, but like, I just sat in bed and like I just cried. And I was like, and I listened to it. There's a 7-minute song, because if you Google it, there's only 2 songs from the Minnesota performance that are highly produced, and one's like 7 minutes and one's 4. The one that's 7 minutes is incredible. And I tried to understand the dance, tried to understand the words of Bon Iver, but like, dude, stop trying to figure that stuff out, because it's like you can't. But then you just watch, and I rewatched and rewatched. And the next morning, if you know anything about dance, it's expensive. You compete on a troupe. She does group dances. She has a duet, all that stuff. But if you do a solo, it costs more money because you have it's just you and the teacher. And so you got to book their studio. You got to pay for choreography, and then you got to pay additional fees to compete in competition. So last year, Elise, we let her do a solo, but we said you have to pay for it. So all the extra money for the solo, it ended up being about $22,000. And so for Elise, like all the privates, all that, hey, you really want to compete on your own, you have to do this by yourself, and you have to pay for it. And so she did. It was like, okay, this year I'm not doing a solo. So dance season had already started, and I watched this thing, and it just light bulb moment for me. And I was like, what about if I had Elise dance to a Bon Iver song? How awesome would that be? Like, could I connect with her dancing to a song that I could connect with? So I put on the video of this dance troupe, and they're like, what does dad got? And sit down with the whole family. And then I was like, Elise, I'll pay for the solo if you do any of this guy's music. Not any. I gave her 16 songs to choose from. And she's like, a solo free? Awesome. Yes. Okay. What music? And she wanted to listen to the playlist, and she came back with a song called Creek. And I was like, yeah, I didn't say fuck, but I was like, oh, I like it. It felt, I did under my breath, but I was like, Creek has like no music to it. It's just this weird Justin Vernon voice and auto-tune not auto-tune, he's smarter than that. Like, he made up that sound. And it's like, you watch Creek, you'd Google that one, Bon Iver Creek performing solo, you might cry without the dancers. Like, it's like, I can't even do it. It's awesome. I was like, who choreographers, and her teacher's like this hip hop, instructor. And it's like, how funny is that? You're going to bring in a song, because normally they give you the song, but you're going to give her the song and say, my dad wants me to dance to this song that we picked, and you want to choreograph. I want you to choreograph that. And Elise is a rule follower, so she's like, but no, I can't bring in the song. And dad, like, girls should dance to girl singers. Says who? Says everybody? And is that some tradition that it really exists but shouldn't? Well, like, his voice is awesome. And like nobody sings his songs at your dance competitions. Like, Beyonce's high on the list, but like, this is a moving song. And if you dance to it, like, holy, like, oh man, this is gonna like be awesome. And she was stoked. And so as she worked on it for months, every week, Valentine's Day weekend of 2019, my mom came down, my wife's mom came down, my friend Dave Tosti and his family. Dave, I showed the video of Bon Iver dancing. No, he dances in Friends with Chance the Rapper, but he doesn't dance in TU Dance. And Dave cried. And Dave's like, this is magical, like awesome. So Dave came, and everyone that was there knew kind of like, hey, this dance is for me. It's for that connection to this sport or art or whatever you want to call dance. But it's going to be judged at a competition up against Beyonce and Riri, you know? And there's some Billie Eilish and some other decent music. But like, so on Thursday, we picked up Elise from dance, and they ran all the solos at her concert, at her rehearsal that night. And she's like, yeah, my choreography is not as good. It's like, no, what says who? Like Riri? Like, because it's not like single lady. Like, the judges have seen that crap before. Like, they've seen that every week of their life for like 18 years. They're like, yes, we know DC3, like again. And I was like, they haven't seen this. And I was like, but who cares, because it's for me. And it's like, your friends don't have a better choreo. But she was feeling that. And it was like, it's not about the trophy. And so the night before she danced, everyone got into bed, and instead of like sitting in my bed thinking about this, I went to my office, which is actually literally in the bathroom. I've converted, and I have a big computer screen. The toilet's not functional. It actually is if you lift it in the right point, but everyone gets grossed out to think that like I poop and pee in the bathroom that I work out of, but that's my prerogative. But I'm sitting there, and I was like, I want to watch this dance video again, because tomorrow, like, am I ready for what's going to happen? And I just sat there that night, and both my mom and my mother-in-law were like like they could hear me, and I had headphones on, but at one point it was like 1 a.m. They got up to go to the bathroom, one of them, and I was like, what's Craig doing? Like, I was literally like, I was crying again in my office watching this video of this dance performance. And I was like, gosh, tomorrow Elise is going to do this. And then I debated whether to say it or not, but I just started writing down some thoughts for Elise about dance. And the point that I was trying to make was, I want to understand dance because I want to understand you, and I want to connect with you. Like, dance is what you love. Like, hey, I'm all in. I can't do it, but like, this is going to be special. And Elise has never won a competition in her life. At that point, I was like, hey, I actually wrote it in a letter, and it was like, I want to sit there and watch you do this. I'll probably cry, but like, I don't know if I can go to the awards because I don't know. That cheapens what you just did. Like, you're the trophy, you know? And it was like, I mean, that's what I wrote in there, because it was like, look, if I don't go to the awards, doesn't mean like, it just means like, it's not about this. And so she does the dance. And yeah, I mean, it was special. It was something that was like, yeah, I mean, it was hard to put in words. But then you go like the night before, she had done something really good in a dance troupe that I was like, I mean, now that I know dance, I'm like, I could judge this. I'm like, oh, that one's a winner. And it got second place. And I was kind of like, bullshit. Like, that didn't get second place. Like, that won. So I am actually literally I'm Googling what makes a dance competition score and what makes a dance good. Because I was like, how does that dance win over that one? Because it's like boxing. When there's not, I don't like the boxing scoring. If you knock somebody out and they can't get up in 10 seconds, you win. But if it's like nobody gets knocked down and it's like, no, that's a tie to me. Well, you took more punches. Dude, you're both still standing after 12 rounds. Like, keep going. Someone's going to fall eventually. But when you're like, you know, judges 28, 31, 30, and you're like, that's confusing. This judging scoring confuses me. And I was like, I'm Googling it that night. And so I was like, Elise, I'm into this now. I want to understand it. I want to know why you lost and why that wins. But in the end, hey, this solo is not about you winning. Because it's like, this is just awesome. And so when she does it, you got to wait like an hour and you got to watch. And now Elise is a lot like me, very competitive. She's dancing. We didn't know at the time, but her old studio was there, which to me, that's fun because you're way better than them. I don't know dancing well, but I know that's like, no, it's like not even comparison. Like you've grown, they're just like, nah. So same age as you. So the solo, I didn't know, but she's competing against people from her old studio, which means your old dance instructor, which means your old friends that you were actually in dances with. Now you're going up against solo. So now it's on. And I'm like, oh, that's fun. Because they get to watch this dance too. And so awards came around. I was like, yeah, I'll stay. I'm good. Like, and they started, because everyone gets first place. Come on. I got to just suck it in because it's like, no. 16th place for the 16th first place trophy. Listen, guys, makes zero sense. 16th place is not still first place. It's 16th. It's dead last. Oh, we can't crush a girl's spirit like that, can we? Everybody gets a trophy. That mentality, and this is a side tangent, but that's kind of, I got to get over it. But it's like, that's like, no, there's winners and losers in sports. There's winners and losers in life. There's winners and losers. And that's why I hate like in the NFL now when it's a tie. Like, no, like I love in Grand Slam tennis tournaments. There's no tiebreaker in the fifth set if it goes to it. So when you're like, that Wimbledon match was 38-36. They played for 9 hours or 10 hours. That is epic. Any sport to me, I just want a clear winner. So dancing, it's just like, oh, whatever. 15th first place. Oh, 15th place. Really? They're going to go through this. So it's like, oh, no, you got 15th. You didn't get first place. You got 15th, one away from last place. That's why I love Abby Lee and Dance Moms. Second place is the first to lose. I also love this analogy. You earn a bronze. You lose a silver. Because like third place, you're like, oh man, I got in the top 3. You earned it. But second place, you did something to get you not in first. So whatever, they go all the way through a 10, 9, 8, 7, and her name's not called. Like, ever. Never has happened. Ever. I've been to a lot of dance competitions. I got a lot of fake first place trophies at our house. I even bought one once because it was like, oh, you didn't even get like 18th. So here's one. I bought it. Like, she got first place. It was like, Dave, who was there and he videotapes me just like standing, like that's never ever happened. And I debated whether I give Elise the letter before because it's like, hey, just go out there and have fun. I said in the letter to her, I said, Elise, I know you're like me and you want the trophy, you deserve it, and you're worthy of it. But like, let's be honest, these judges don't know what they're doing and they've probably never heard a song like that, a dance like that. So whatever, like screw it. It doesn't matter, but it kind of does. And then like she dances it was just amazing, flawless. I think she's like found 8 errors that she did, but I'm like, you got friggin' first place. The first time you've ever won a dance competition is to a song that like I picked because I wanted that connection with you. And that dance you did meant something way more because there was a connection. Nolan and I are like, we should have a side little hustle where we tell you what dances, we could figure that. I mean, dude, just show up and do great music at a dance competition. And like, dude, you could slay. Beyonce. That was good. She got first place. Like, it was ridiculous. It was amazing. It was fun. I'm glad I didn't get scared to give her that. And it was unreal. She did 6 dances that weekend, and she didn't win in any of the other ones, except for her duet that she did with her best friend, which was a ridiculous dance. But I also go back to there was a connection with your best friend. And when I listened to Justin Vernon, who said, I never knew how to connect with it, but the moment I found that I could connect with it, and as such a creative guy that he is, it's like, what could happen with my music on top of this dance? And I think sometimes we say no to things that we can't do, and we miss out on the experience, and we miss out on the connection. So for me and Elise, I'm like, it's fun as she goes through these competitions, and getting to surprise her to go to Washington, D.C. She thinks and thought it was an 8th grade trip, but I don't need to go. We're homeschooling her, and it's like, oh, 8th grade trip. Like, we're going to get T-shirts and wear your 8th grade, go to a museum, go visit the White House. We're just not that family that probably cares about whatever's in, I don't know. I'm not going to go on an 8th grade trip to Washington, D.C. because that's what 8th grade trips do. But I'm like, the only reason I told her we're going on an 8th grade trip is because Bon Iver and TU Dance are doing a special performance at the Kennedy Center. And, oh yeah, 8th grade trip is what she thought. So it's being able to surprise her with that and then watch that dance together. It's inspiring. And I go, man, if you could do that, like I never had given myself the thought of like, what about not at least being a backup dancer for Riri and doing that kind of thing, or being a trophy winning dance competition girl, but like, imagine if you move people in the way that moved me. And man, that's awesome. So that's me rocking my sexy dad, dancer dad t-shirt. And you'll find me on next season of Dancing with Your Daddy. That's not even the name of the show, but I'll probably never get on that show. But never say never, like the Biebers used to say. I'm out.
Thanks for thinking through Craig Brain. This podcast is only a small summarized part of a larger conversation. To read the full story, check out www.craigbrain.com and follow @Craig Gross on whatever social suits your fancy.